On this edition of Woodworking Adventures, I sat down with Carl and Robin Jacobson at our trade show. We shared some lathe time while talking about their woodworking life together at home and on the road in their mobile shop. Up next on Woodcrafts, Woodworking Adventures. Carl, I first met you last year personally at the Woodcraft Vendor Trade Show.
Yeah.
Before that, I found you through a Facebook posting, and now you're all over the place. You're on Facebook and YouTube and traveling around doing all these great things with wood and inspiring others. You have a little bit of a history in your background. Tell me about that with the previous Carls in your life.
Oh, well, I started woodworking with my grandpa, and his name was Carl, when I was really young. So I've been, doing some type of woodworking since I was old enough to walk. He just really inspired me to, get out there and just build stuff with your hands. But I didn't get into wood turning until my mid-20s, and just kind of took that up. But it was really fun.
So you took it from the family, learning from Grandpa and your dad.
Yeah.
And then finally in high school, a little bit more woodworking.
Yeah. Yep.
What about after that? What happened after high school?
I still did a little bit of woodworking, but then in my mid-20s, I was visiting a friend of mine, and he had a lathe, but I'd never gone down and used it with him. But he had turned a clock that day and something. I just saw it, and I don't know what it was. It was just a walnut and oak clock, and I don't even know why, but it just sparked something in me, and
You had to do it.
I had to do it. By the time I got home, I started looking for a lathe.
Let's talk about that first lathe. It's kind of a lathe and kind of not a lathe. What happened?
Right. Well, back then there was no Craigslist, so I was looking in the paper for a lathe, and I couldn't find one. And I had an old motor just laying around. I think it was out of a dryer or something, and I just bolted it down to the workbench. And we were working at Freightliner at the time, so I went down to maintenance and had to make me a little face plate for it.
Right.
And so until I could find a lathe in the newspaper, I just was trying to turn on that. I made a little tool rest and everything for it. And then it wasn't long after that. Within a month, I found a Craftsman lathe in the paper.
Right.
Went and bought it, and just slowly worked my way up from there.
So you grew more into woodworking as you went along, and finally you were remodeling houses. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was just something, like I said, I've been doing woodworking with my grandpa, and my dad was a contractor. And it was just kind of just natural stuff. I just kind of got into, buying up homes that were kind of run down, so remodeled 3 of them. 2 of them, we ripped the whole roofs off and redid them. But I was still kind of, as far as just woodworking, it was just really wasn't, I just did a little bit of it until I got into turning, and that's really where it took off.
You finally got more into turning, and you started doing social media.
Yeah. Just it was really kind of as a fluke. I mean, I wasn't planning on doing YouTube videos for a living or any of that, or even doing woodworking for a living. It was one of the guys at work asked me to make a duck call. He was a duck hunter, and it broke. So he asked me if I could, somebody told him I was a wood turner and asked me if I could fix it. So I took it home, fixed it, and I took it back in there, and he was just like, the next day, and he was just like, I don't know, he was just baffled that I could take that home and turn another one just like it. And so I invited him over, and he came over and watched me turn it. And if you've ever turned a duck call, it's like maybe 15, 20 minutes to make one.
Sure.
And I don't know, he was just kind of blown away by it. So YouTube had just started, and I was on there with everybody else, just watching cat videos, and there really wasn't a whole lot on there. And I thought, I don't know, I had little cameras and everything. So I thought, I don't know, maybe somebody else wants to see how to do it. And that's how it started. I wouldn't even be on camera. I was like super nervous. It was, I think the first 6 or 7 videos, it's just the camera starts off facing right down at the lathe, and I start going, just jabbing tools into it. And
I bet the results of the comments back then, were they like, what are you doing?
Well,
You're just jabbing the wood.
I did get a couple of comments like that, but for the most part, it was just overwhelmingly questions. And people just, and so I started answering her, I still, to this day, we try and answer everybody back. They were questions, and that led to, well, how do you do this? So I go, I don't know, hang on, let me make a video and I'll show you. So it was, I think the first 6 or 7 videos are just duck calls, because it was just people wanting to make their own duck calls. And then it was, after that, I was like, well, can you show me how to make a box? And I go, sure. So let me put a video up, and they just kept going from there. And we still get requests all the time to make stuff. People are leave comments, or, will you try and make this, or can you show this,
So that leads to the ideas that you come up with. Where do you get some of these things that you're making now? I mean, they're really, really different. You did the umbrella, just all kind of different things. Where do you get those ideas? Where do they come from?
Yeah, they come from both of us. I do
a lot of research.
Yeah.
And where do you find that research, Robin?
I mostly just Google images. I mean, we Google anything. You Google seashells, and a lot of different things pop up. Yeah. And so I'll find something that I fall in love with. I go get him and say, you need to look at this. And then he either likes that, or he'll be, that's really neat, but maybe we can turn it into that.
Right.
So it just kind of, every week, we just come up with, we pull it out, really. I mean, we don't even really start looking until the weekend for that week's project. And yeah, we seem to be really lucky.
It was like the umbrella that we did a couple weeks ago. We just decided, I don't know, to turn an umbrella, and then Robin came up. She goes with the idea. She goes, "Can you make the base look like water?" So I go, "Sure." And then I decided to make an off-center one, so it just fit the umbrella.
But then the glue for the raindrops.
Yeah, and then the hot glue for the raindrops.
That whole thing came up from Maker Central, because we were like trying to find something English. So I just typed in iconic things from England, and I think the umbrella was the first thing that popped up.
Yeah, it just keeps popping up with umbrellas, but yeah. So it's
that's the process.
And everywhere we go, it doesn't have to be woodworking. That we're constantly looking for project ideas, and it could be glass, glass work, pottery. We were at the beach quite a while ago, and they had a seashell with an air plant in it. And by the time we got home, we just thought it was cool, and we bought one of them. It was a little thing you hang up in your kitchen window. And by the time we got home, we decided to try and make a jellyfish lamp. So, and then I go out in the shop and try and figure out how to, the air plant, the seashell's like this, and it has a little air plant hanging down to it. Well, we made a desk lamp jellyfish. So it's, you just kind of try and work it into a wood turning or a woodworking project.
It sounds like you're also using, like you said, different other materials. You're using glass or plastic or whatever.
Yeah.
So what else do you do besides woodworking in your hobbies? It sounds like you're doing some other things. What does that hobby come from? Do you do other hobbies?
Oh, I paint. But it was funny because I didn't even know I could paint until he asked me to paint a Weeble Wobble. That was the very first thing that I did. And I was like, it looks just like the Weeble Wobbles that we played with as kids.
Yeah.
So then we started making
them for people.
We did the Millennium, not the Millennium Falcon, but the X-Wing fighter, and I painted the R2-D2 in it, and things like the BB-8 pepper grinder. Yeah. I painted that.
But like that, even that, the Weeble Wobbles, is somebody probably asked us in the comment to make one, and then it doesn't look like a Weeble Wobble unless you paint it, and I can't paint. I can't even paint a stick figure. So, that's, and then we probably made 15 of them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them Robin did different people in the community.
So different
woodworkers and gave them to them.
Now you guys do spend a lot of time together, and we'll talk about that project in a minute. But before that project, you became sponsored by Easy Wood Tools. Tell us a little bit about that history.
Yeah, it's been, I think, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a Christmas ornament challenge every year, and with Alan Stratton, and we there was a kid that entered. He's not a kid anymore. He just graduated, but I think he was 14, and he didn't have a lathe, and so he hooked up a cordless drill to a sawhorse, and sharpened up some screwdrivers and turned a Christmas ornament that was just amazing. I mean, it was a beautiful job, and you would never know. But I was so inspired by that video that
he found a way to make something without a lathe.
Yeah. I mean, just because he wanted to enter the challenge.
Contest.
Yeah. So we started talking to different people in the community, and ended up getting him a lathe and some tools, and Easywood donated the tools, and that's how I got involved with them. And it's been about 4 years now. Yeah.
Now, you guys do this Christmas ornament challenge every single year now.
Yeah.
So how can the folks out there that are watching this video, how can they get into it?
I'm not exactly sure the date yet, but all you have to do is you have to upload a video to YouTube and submit it to the challenge. So it won't be until October or so when we start announcing.
Do they upload it to your site, or is there a site that they can reach out to?
Yeah, they'll upload it to Alan's website, and that way it'll be submitted into the challenge, and that's it. And then Alan and I go through and pick the winners for it. Even if you're not comfortable doing a video, we accept like slideshows of the process of you making it, because I know some people are uncomfortable with that. And
So it includes everybody.
Yeah.
That's great that you guys do that.
Yeah.
So diving back into that, how did that lead to the Easywood sponsorship?
I just got to talking to him, getting to know him, and that's how it led into it. Though I believe I asked him for some tools I think I sent him the video, and they were just inspired by Justin's video, and it was amazing. I think he was 14, but last year he won Youth Woodturner of the Year.
Right. Very nice.
I mean, he went from the cordless drill on a sawhorse and to be honest, he does segmented pieces. I couldn't do it. It's just amazing work. I mean, just outstanding. Go look at the stuff he makes. Blown away.
Yeah, there's so many great craftsmen out there, and just people who just have these things in their mind, and they're just getting it out there, you know. So who inspires Carl?
Everybody. It's like when I first started, there wasn't YouTube, so it was literally you had to go take a class at Woodcraft or join a turning club, and there just wasn't the exposure there is now. I feel it is so much easier for people to learn, people get inspiration now. It's with everything from Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, you could literally just spend the entire day looking at new work that people have done.
New ideas.
It's, I personally get inspiration from someone who's been turning for 6 months or someone who's been turning for 40 years. There's so much diversity out there now. So we're subscribed to tons of people. I try and watch as many videos as I can, constantly on Facebook and Instagram, and just I mean, it's endless. There's
an amazing community.
Yeah,
huge community.
Huge community of people, and it's I learn new stuff every day. That and like I said, it doesn't matter how long you've been turning or woodworking. What we're doing, I did a project, I don't know, months ago, but it was a young guy I think he's in Canada, and I saw a project of his, and he had done a foot on a piece that I had never seen before. And it was just the way he figured it out, and it was just like blown away. And that is the coolest thing, I'm gonna try that. And he just, maybe 6 months he'd been turning, so it's just always getting inspiration from everybody.
Let's take this conversation into the present day. Recently you've put together a trailer.
Yeah.
And you're kind of fulfilling a pipe dream, if you will. I mean, so many people see this and they go, he's turning on a beach. He's got a trailer. He's going around the country, and he's got these beautiful places that he's doing.
Yeah.
And that alone is great inspiration, just being surrounded by that serenity.
Yeah.
Where did that come from, that idea, and what went into that trailer?
Yeah, I think it was your idea.
I think so.
It was about a year or more ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
That I don't even know what we were doing, but we were doing something. You said, wouldn't it be cool to go turn from Multnomah Falls or something? And then we got to talking about it, and we go, well, we could do that, but we'd have to have a trailer and all this, generator and everything. And then
I think we just talked about it off and on for probably about 6 months.
yeah,
And then we went to California
yep,
and did about 6 shows in a week. And we just traveled all over California and doing these shows. And by the time we got back, it was like, this is what we want to do. We're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
So I think a month later, 2 months later,
Yeah.
the ball was already rolling.
yep.
What's it like traveling around with each other as a couple?
It's amazing.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
But you're sure he's not going to go join the band again?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Filming
It's
that.
funny. We had a couple people think I was real, and
Yeah.
I can't sing, I can't play, I can't draw.
Yeah, when you guys did that, I sat back and I was like, I didn't know he was like a super rock star. I wonder what band he was in, That was
I know
funny.
his mom called and she goes, "Are you guys okay?" And I said, "I must be a better actress than I thought because I'm usually never in front of the camera."
I think she watched on Facebook and couldn't figure out how to get the audio to work, so she just saw Robin up rolling her eyes. What'd you do to her?
Yeah.
It's it's fun. We work together all day long, every day. So it's like going out in the shop is just an extension of that, and just
And speaking of working with each other, that's how this venture started. Tell us about Freightliner.
yeah, we both worked for Freightliner for 20 years and
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met there. Yeah,
Amazing.
Robin was my boss for a while.
And needless to say, she still is.
Still is.
Oh, that's great. It's so great to see you guys, share that journey and that inspiration together. You inspire each other.
Yeah.
You put this trailer together. You got some sponsors, and that helped along the way.
Immensely. It was that without Woodcraft and Easy Wood and Carolina that helped make the whole thing possible. We were so appreciative of that, because without it we couldn't do it.
You first started the trailer, and in your mind, of course, you had a certain design in your mind.
Yeah.
You put that together, and then other things happened.
Yeah.
What did you do about those changes? What did you see? Tell us, take us from the beginning of that trailer build into what it is today.
Yeah. So basically, I've never worked in a mobile shop before, so I have no idea what you need or anything. So basically, we got the trailer, and then
We worked on the wrap pretty.
we worked on getting the wrap on more than anything.
I love the video on that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I love that video too.
Yeah. We were, but I didn't really think about all the little things. I mean, I knew I needed a lathe, I needed a way to power it, and I needed, a place to put the tools and stuff like that. But I called a friend of mine back east, and he has a mobile shop where he teaches classes out of. And he has, I think, 8 lathes in there. He has a main lathe and then some smaller student lathes. And so he spent about an hour on the phone with me explaining everything I need. And I didn't realize, as far as lighting, you can't put in like fluorescent lights. They won't run off the generator. So he ran me through everything, and we have to put in breaker box and all of that for the generator.
So what type of lights are you using if you can't use?
We don't have them in yet.
Natural lights.
Natural light.
Those
right now.
windows that open up.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Natural light.
But
So there's
we're-
no night turning.
No.
We're going to get the LEDs put in there.
Okay.
So we can turn any time. But right now we're just during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just until you get out there, you really don't think about a lot of stuff. As far as we've just been doing local ones right now, but we're going to Reno and then Dallas October. So when you get further away from home, you need to figure out everything and have it all ironed out. We need
It's like camping on wheels.
It
Right.
is, but you.
Then we have the videos to shoot, so we have to upload them.
edit them in the camper.
So we need a hotspot type
yeah,
thing.
being able to upload it to YouTube.
You need a Wi-Fi generator
Yeah.
internal to the
Right,
shop.
Yeah. So it's all the little. It's not just turning the project. It's the whole production.
It's life
of
on
it,
the
too.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your first trip was, in my mind, just beautiful. You went to a beach, but you ran into a little trouble, and you didn't know it until the end, but they let you go.
Oh,
Tell us about that.
yeah. We.
That was the Multnomah Falls.
Yeah. In Oregon, you're not allowed to film in state parks, and so I didn't know that, and until the park rangers came up
Like they knew about turning in advance, right?
with their clipboard. And I think it's the trailer. It just draws attention. So when you pull up in that and open up the windows, all of a sudden
That we're selling
we
something.
had people come over and just want to see what we were doing and everything, and then that draws attention. So it's
This isn't your general ice cream shop here. This is a wood turning shop, right?
Well, when they first came up, they wanted to know if we were selling something.
Yeah.
And so we explained to them we weren't. We were just filming. But you're not allowed to film in state parks, national parks without a permit, and it's
Anywhere in the country that you're finding out, or just Oregon, or?
well, we know
We just did
Washington.
Oregon and Washington,
Washington, because we're going up there, and they're the same way. And it's so we got online to start doing some research, see if we couldn't just get like a year pass to film the little thing. But it's by project, and it's thousands of dollars for, like, when they shoot movies. We didn't know, but it was like $7,000 a day
Oh my!
just to film in state parks.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like, and even for us, just because we're putting them up on YouTube, I think it was $350 or something a day, because there's 2 people in the crew.
Yeah.
Consider this the crew. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So now you have to find a spot that's not considered out of the boundaries of the park.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And you can do that anywhere, even overlooks or anything like that. That's not a state park. So we went to Crater Lake, and we just drove back down the mountain a little bit and found a nice spot by the river there, and
What's it
opened
like?
everything up. Nobody says anything.
What's it like to us inside woodworkers, wood turners that don't have that shop on the road? What's the inspiration? What does it do to you at the lathe to be able to turn somewhere that beautiful?
You know what? It really is. I think it just kind of, it's something just unique about it, and you get inspiration from just being out there. So it was like being able to go to a different place or whatever it is. I don't know if it gives you that much more inspiration for that project, but the next one, and it was, Robin had never been to Crater Lake before, so just going up there is just amazing, and it really does make you want to go on the next one. We're already looking forward to heading back out again.
What would you say to the viewers who might think about doing that as far as precautions and safety? What do you do? Because in that area, hospitals may be really far away.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the woodworkers out there as far as from a safety aspect?
Yeah, I would, as far as the safety, as far as just woodworking in general.
Be prepared.
Just be prepared. We have lots of, first aid kit and everything. And I just try and do, be as safe as possible. But I do that in my own shop too.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we turned that project, we're probably 40 miles away from the nearest town.
Mm-hmm.
So if something went wrong, it was.
You have to consider that.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I guess just be as safe as you can. But if you were doing a really big project, you might want to get a little closer to a town in case.
Pull into the hospital parking lot and go from there, right?
Yeah.
Robin, what's it like traveling around with this guy? What's the most interesting thing about Carl?
No, it is a lot of fun. We get along great, and he's so kind. He is the person that people see when they watch his videos. I mean, he is genuinely a nice guy. So we do a lot of laughing. I mean, you can tell just by the videos, all those things we're just running, and he makes me laugh a lot. So we do have a really, really good time. Do a lot of laughing.
Yeah.
That's how, I think that's another reason why we get along so well, is because we pretty much do everything for that day, for that day, really. I mean, you know, we have obviously got a plan and things like that, and we have things that we need to do tomorrow, but we just try to focus on like the lighting and where we're gonna drive, how far are we going, and then the rest just happens.
So you're just figuring it out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Robin, Carl, thank you for taking this time and sharing your journey with us. We really appreciate it. We're glad to have you at the Woodcraft Vendor Trade Show this year, and we just wish you all the best, and we look forward to more of your journeys because you really inspire all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what's your favorite thing to turn? You like doing these inside turnings and getting all that stuff out of there?
I think probably, yeah, I mean, these are fun. I really like doing boxes are probably my favorites, what I started out with, and it's still enjoy doing them. I don't know. Yeah, I think probably if I had like a, you know, specific thing, it would be boxes, because it's, even with boxes, you can get really creative with different kinds of things.
You do get a lot of creative ideas in your videos. It's something amazing. These ideas just come out of nowhere. You just got to look around and you go, I can make that out of wood, right?
Yeah. So Rob and I are both constantly trying to, you know, just look around at anything in different mediums. I mean, it's not wood or wood turning or woodworking, to try and get ideas for it.
Now you're using all the Easy Wood tools, but you've used all the conventional tools. I've seen them on your videos.
Yeah, I use
Do you have a
gouges
preference?
too.
Do you like them all? It doesn't matter. You just grab a tool and go, or
They both.
or is it more specific to the requirement of what you're trying to do at the time?
Every once in a while, there's just certain tools that do a job easier. But for the most part, they both do exactly the same thing. The Easy Wood ones are just, there's no learning curve on them. I get a little more control on certain things, you know, doing it with those.
Right.
So I try and mix it up too, because a lot of people are watching are just starting out, and sometimes like the gouges can be intimidating, and you want to get started turning. You don't want to spend 2 months learning how to use a specific tool.
Right.
And you can just grab one of the Easy Wood ones and start going.
As far as the order in which you learned, you started out with conventional tools, correct?
I did for. When I got my first lathe, it came with a cheap set of conventional tools, and so I used those for a little bit, and then probably about a year in, the Easy Wood came out with the carbide. So I got one of the, I think it was a full size finishers was the first Easy Wood one I got, and that was. I don't know, quite a while ago. Even before I started working with them, I had one.
So when you're teaching the younger crowd or teaching somebody brand new, you're starting them out with the Easy Wood tools just because it's, you just pick up a tool and go?
It depends on what they want to do. But, and yeah, sometimes we go with the Easy Wood, sometimes they want to learn with the gouges. So it's completely up to them.
Right.
If I had somebody come up here who'd never turned before, I would start them out with the Easy Wood. And just because they can walk away here with a finished project and less chance of anything happening,
Right.
you just lay the tool right down and start working with it.
If you had to start out yourself, again, is it easier to start with the carbide tools first or the conventional, and then do the shift in from one to the other? Which direction would you go first?
You know what? I'm not sure. But I definitely think it's easier to start out with the Easy Wood, and the reason is just the learning curve is so much lower, and you don't have to buy a grinder, sharpening jig. You don't.
So it's a little more inexpensive.
Yeah, and even if you have the money to buy a grinder and sharpening jig, you need to learn how to use it.
Right.
So it's a whole new learning curve, and then you have to turn around and learn how to use the tools, because there's a specific way they need to be addressed to the wood.
Right.
So it's if you want to get right into turning, carbide's the way to go. It's, you can literally buy a lathe, a set of carbide, and go home and plug it in and have a project done in a couple hours.
So what is your favorite material to turn or favorite wood?
I am a big fan of maple. I love maple burl. I'm in Oregon, so it's just pretty much everywhere.
It's prevalent, sure.
Yeah, and I don't know, just the variety of it. This right here is quilted maple. The next one I grab will be burl, or So I really enjoy it. It cuts nice. It's a nice wood to turn.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of resin lately, but it's really fun to turn too, and with the resin you can just go crazy with it. Just being creative, what you put into it, what you bond it with. So it's kind of endless on that line.
You make everything look so easy. You really do. I mean, not to pun the Easy Wood Tools, but all your videos, you're just so natural. You're just like flowing along, and everything just pouring off your way. You do an incredible job. We really appreciate what you do.
Thanks.
So let's do a little turn.
Well, I'm gonna sand.
Now?
You want to do a little sanding?
Yeah, it's boring for the camera, but
right. Yeah, it's I mean, you after you get comfortable with it, I teach at the Woodcraft there in Eugene too, and it's
like another arm. It's just part of your body.
Right, and it's when you're first starting out, people seem to be a little hesitant about it, and that's probably more dangerous than anything else. They're back here holding onto the tool, and that's more dangerous than just put your face shield on, get right up there and start working.
Yeah, absolutely. Safety first all the time.
Yeah.
And just don't be afraid to do it.
Right. See that?
Look at that pop.
Right?
Yeah.
But I started sanding with the paste wax and mineral years ago, and it eliminates all the sanding dust, gives it that nice rich color, and then I found the Howards, and it's less expensive than mixing my own paste wax and mineral together, and I can get it. It's already pre-mixed. It does exactly the same thing, eliminates all the sanding dust. Put that out of the way.
I love the Abernat.
Yeah.
My favorite sanding paper.
Yep. It does nice. Because I sand with this, it goes right through it. I have a little tub at home. It makes it much easier. I just dump those right into a Tupperware.
Right. That's a good tip.
And then you can just dunk it in there and a little faster. I usually turn the lathe speed down quite a bit. And then just run through all the grits. Sand it with the first grit, wipe all the little paste off that it creates, and then I move on to the next grit, and I do that on every grit. Just wipe off all the excess. So if there is any little bit of grit from the sandpaper before that, it's not still on there.
Gotcha. Let's talk a little bit about the lathe that you're operating on. You've got the Robust Scout.
Yeah.
And you've got a 3-phase inverter there.
Yes.
And you've got kind of the same deal at home. Tell us about your setup at home.
Yeah, I have the American Beauty at home. So it's a 3 horsepower, 3-phase motor, but it has an inverter on it too. That's drop it down to 220.
Works a lot better than that very first lathe we spoke earlier in the interview.
Yeah. A little better than the dryer motor I had. Yeah.
It's all about the power.
It is. And it's with the bigger motors too, you can get a lot more torque. So if you want to do big stuff, with something like this, you don't need it. But so, yeah, what I normally do is run up to 600 with the sandpaper.
Right.
And then put a final coat of wax on the piece. The only thing is if you're doing or sanding with this, you can't put it like a polyurethane finish over it.
Now, recently you've been working with some different paints.
We've been doing some.
Letting it build up, and so tell us about that. What are you doing with that thing?
There's a bunch of paint pour. They call it paint pouring, where you just take acrylic paint and pour it over. Most people just pour it over a canvas, but we decided to try it on a bowl and just to see what it would look like. But we went to the dollar store and got a oil pan to put underneath it,
right?
So that as we're doing it, we could fill that up because I want to try and put that on the lathe and turn it. It's kind of like the Fordite, the automotive paint that I turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert and I got that from Freightliner Trucks.
Nice.
From the plant there. All right. That.
Oh, I had a piece for you.
Oh. Yeah, so once I get it all sanded up, I use a little harder wax at home to usually finish it, but we'll just put a little bit of this on it and buff it up.
Now, which Easywood tool did you use to get inside all that material out?
I used two of them. I used the #1 hollower there,
Okay.
that one there, and
All right.
you can reach right around with that one, and get probably 90% of that out.
Okay.
And then I have the little hook
curve.
one.
Yeah.
It's the #2 hollower is what I finished off right up against that shoulder there.
Okay.
I don't know where that one went.
It disappeared.
I think Chris stole it.
Where's the hook?
The #2 hollower.
#2 hollower. There it is. She had it.
Yeah, and that's the other one. So I was able to reach around and grab that little corner right there with that one.
How many of you initially, when you first started doing it, you ever bust them through?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I still bust them through.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I still go through the bottom of the bowls, and yeah, yeah, it just happens. So it's, I always try and, stress that too. Things happen all the time. It was in 6 months ago, I had a bowl fly off the lathe.
But you had your face mask
had
on.
your face shield on.
Thank goodness.
So it doesn't matter whether you've been turning 6 months or 60 years, things happen, and so just be prepared for them. And that happened on a live show where the bowl came off and hit me. So I turned around and explained to everybody exactly what happened, what I did wrong, and then I uploaded that video to YouTube and explained that, because I think that's more beneficial for everybody than having accidents happen and never telling anybody, or screwing the design up and going, it came out perfect every time. So even when we're filming our regular project videos, if something goes wrong, I leave it in the video.
Right.
Because I don't want
It's
to.
a great learning curve. Man.
Yeah.
It's real life.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody to think I come out here and just.
Oh yeah, I'm perfect all the time.
Exactly,
Right.
because I'm not at all, and I don't want anybody things happen to them and get discouraged, because it happens to me too. And
Well, I'm sure they appreciate it. And do they show you that through the comments?
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of comments about, every time I do leave a mistake in, they
feel like they're that much closer to you. I bet.
Yeah.
Like, I did that too.
Right, exactly, yeah. So I make bottoms of bowls too thin and turn them into lampshades, and so.
You can always save it into something else that it wasn't initially designed for.
Yep,
You know?
exactly.
Very
Yep,
cool.
Yep.
All right. All good stuff.
Yeah.
Carl, we appreciate everything you do, man.
Oh.
Good job.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for stopping by.
Absolutely.
right.
Thanks. Keep up the good stuff, man.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks. You too.
Stay linked as we explore the world of entertaining and inspiring artisans, hobbyists, and makers with new episodes from Woodworking Adventures. For Woodcraft, I'm Frank Byers. Thanks for watching.